G'day, mate. G'day, mate.
What are you doing?
You told me that I had to be more like Princess Mary, so I'm trying to be like her, speaking Australian.
No, I told you that Princess Mary is a good foreigner to learn how to fit into Denmark from.
Oh.
But I didn't tell you that if you just start speaking Australian, it's going to be all boomerangs and kangaroos.
It's not?
No, but there are 7 tips from Princess Mary that you can learn the secrets of fitting in Denmark from.
Ooh, I'd love to learn more.
Well, let's talk about it. Now, the first secret from Princess Mary on how to be a foreigner in Denmark is remember that Denmark is more than Copenhagen.
How does Mary really show us that? I always feel like she's around town here.
Yeah, but I mean, she does have family properties all over the Kingdom of Denmark, and she does, take her mother-in-law's yacht around different places. I mean, she does make a point of getting out of the city and really seeing all of Denmark, and that's something everybody can do.
That makes sense. I mean, we may not have a royal yacht, but we certainly can take a train or rent a car and go out into the countryside or go across to Fyn and Jylland. So, yeah, it's pretty good advice to see what Denmark's like outside of Copenhagen.
Yeah, and we've definitely heard that before, right? But, whether you're doing some of the car trips that we've done, like to Mons Klint, or weekends on Fyn, or the times that we've gone to Jylland, you can definitely put this in practice and just make sure that you're really getting out and seeing all that Denmark is.
I like that. We really were popular in Vejle, so we should go back there again.
Now, another secret from Princess Mary on how to be a good foreigner in Denmark that you can learn and apply to yourself is to get involved. That's one of the best ways that we've made friends in Denmark. We've talked about that before, but Mary does it in an extraordinary way. She's got her foundation. She does a lot of work with anti-bullying and fighting loneliness. So really, if you want to learn how to make friends, that's a great way to do it, and get involved and just do something in Denmark.
Yeah, that worked for us. I mean, we joined a sports league, we made amazing friends. That's kind of the first way that we actually made Danish friends too. So yeah, it really worked for us as well.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of Danish friends at first. Most of our friends were from language school and things like that. But this is really a good way to get out there and make some friends. And another secret from Princess Mary on how to live in Denmark as a foreigner is that you'll want to learn a little bit of Danish.
Vi kan tala lite små-dansk. I mean, we went to the same school as her. Well, we started at studio school and just like her.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at what she did, obviously it was more important for her to learn the language because she had a Danish husband, Danish in-laws, Danish spouse. No, it's maybe it's not like for us coming here to work and being with another non-Danish speaker. For her, it was a little bit more important, but she had that practice at home. She really applied it, and you can see the fruits of her labor. If you look at the birthday speech that she delivered for Crown Prince Frederik on his 50th birthday. I mean, it's got like 1 million plus views on YouTube. It's super popular, but it really made the Danish people, especially those that were there in the room, but especially also those who watched it elsewhere, fall in love with her for learning the language and really being able to express herself, her thoughts and her emotions for her husband at that time in Danish.
No, I mean, honestly, we can feel it too. I mean, we have definitely understood more things as we understand more Danish and can read news articles and see billboards and understand what they mean, get a little bit of what the culture is like. Also, it is appreciated when we try using our Danish a little bit, maybe not so much during the morning rush at Espresso House, but there's good times to practice your Danish and just get a chance to do it in the wild. So definitely this is a good one to know.
Now, another thing that Princess Mary does super well and can get you to fit into Danish culture as a foreigner is learning how to ride a bike and without driving everybody else crazy.
So she's a royal, isn't she always going in horse-drawn carriages and expensive limousines and things like that?
Yeah, maybe Denmark's version of that, which would be a cargo bike. But yeah, no, it's the country of Denmark has spent a ton of money investing in biking infrastructure, and really biking is part of Danish culture. So, and it makes sense. In Denmark, the geography really allows for you to get around by bike. Even if it's an e-bike, it's super easy and super common to get around that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's eco-friendly, it's healthy, and honestly, it's the easiest way to get around, especially in the city, but also if you're out in the countryside, it's a nice way to go from place to place. We've had very lovely bike rides in the country as well.
Yeah, now the only downfall of that is the American ambassador might try to say that you bike because you can't afford a car, but you'll get the last laugh when a Dane actually turns around and wins the Tour de France the same year. Now, another secret to living in Denmark as a foreigner that you can learn from Princess Mary, and I think she does exceedingly well, is you always want to remember where you came from. Of course, we know she's got Australian heritage, and I think she still embraces that while living in Denmark and kind of blends the two perfectly.
So does that mean that she's replaced the smørrebrød with maybe shrimps on the Barbie at Amelia Bourke Palace?
Maybe Marmite sandwiches on just one side. I don't know exactly what she eats. But I think you can see this in certain, like recently, the sailing race that she had with her husband, Prince Frederick. Like, of course, these are two countries that enjoy sailing, but, she can have a laugh at herself, but also say, no, I'm Australian in this moment. Yes, you're Danish in this moment. And living in a country like Denmark, where there is a strong sense of patriotism and a deep-rooted culture, Danes also appreciate learning about other people's cultures. Danes are well-traveled people. They're not necessarily insular and unfamiliar with other cultures and other traditions, and they like to learn new things and embrace new things. So if you try to just become a carbon copy of every Danish person and you try to get away from everything that makes you Australian or American or Canadian or wherever you come from, you're losing a bit of yourself, and Danes prefer that you'd be authentic.
Yeah, we've had fun with that too. I mean, we've introduced Halloween parties, and we've had amazing 4th of July parties, and everyone looks forward to our annual Thanksgiving dinner when we get together. So I think we brought a little bit of our American selves here. Heck, people even like American football now.
Some people do. And I'm from Philadelphia, so every year in December, I throw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Good tradition.
Google it. So this secret from Princess Mary on how to live in Denmark and kind of live amongst the Danes is going to almost sound like a contradiction, but it's not. And that is that you want to dig into Danish culture. And really doesn't mean that you're going to give up your own, but it means that there is a rich culture in Denmark and you can find some ways to embrace it. And she's done that very well.
So dig into Danish culture. That means we have to go on like some archaeological digs somewhere, find some old Viking fortresses and the like?
No. So what she's done, I mean, just a few things, is she's joined the Home Guard and she's done some exercises with the military. And maybe military service isn't what I'm recommending to you or to other people, but you can find ways to be a part of Danish society and Danish culture. And she's done that with her foundations, with some of these other experiences, and there's a lot of things you can do and that we've done since we've moved here.
Yeah, honestly, one of the most fun trips we've had was going to see the Yellingstones and kind of getting a real interesting look at that kind of amazing era in Danish history as a transition from the Viking age to the Christian age. It was a really neat moment to see the stones that truly are Denmark's birth certificate.
Yeah, so getting around and just doing some of these things and going to some cultural sites, a museum, trying to learn something about the country in which you live is a big part of fitting in Denmark. Now, another secret from Princess Mary on how to live in Denmark as a foreigner, I think really is a big part of kind of the Danish mantra, which is you're not better or worse than anybody else, and you need to keep that in mind as you're living here. Yeah, so Mary may be a princess, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she isn't also down to earth. She's incredibly down to earth, and she's a fierce advocate for the marginalized people or anybody that might need help here in Denmark.
That's true. I mean, we've seen that she's a big part of anti-bullying programs. She has her Mary Fundant that works with kids as well. She does a lot for people that are a lot less fortunate than her getting to marry into the royal family.
And I think the longer we're here in Denmark and anybody that moves here, you'll kind of see that that's really kind of the Danish persona is, yes, it's great to have achievements, but you don't necessarily want to brag about them. And maybe your family comes from higher means, but you don't really want to show that off. And Mary does a great example of walking that line. So it doesn't matter if you move here for a high-earning expat job, or you move here because you're a refugee, or you're an immigrant in a low-wage job. Maybe you follow a spouse here. Maybe you're some kind of a tech startup guy or gal. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're here. So if you embrace a little bit of Danish culture and you stay humble and you are good to people, you're going to go far. You're not better or worse than anybody else. And I think Mary really exemplifies that.
That's a really important spirit to capture, and that's kind of awesome that she exemplifies what all of us that come here as well strive to be.
And we're not saying that if you just act like Princess Mary or learn an Australian accent that you're going to go far in Denmark. You do have to do some work, and these secrets from Princess Mary will definitely help you. We're also not saying that it's all just roses from here if you do these things. There are definitely some hard parts of living in Denmark, and if you want to know what those hard parts are, you better click here and watch this video now. Thanks for watching.
Hi.